So basically, if you look into back in ancient times, if you look at a scholar by the name of Michael Heiser, he actually goes through the whole area of Genesis 6 with how these giants came about. And also he goes through the studies of the book of Enoch as well. And basically what happened, to summarize it, is that the sons of God were actually beings, supernatural beings, heavenly, angelic-like beings that saw the women on earth as being attractive, and then they came down and they took them as wives, and they had children with these women, and these children were a type of hybrids. They were half human, half angelic, half supernatural beings, and they became the giants, which the Bible says, and there were giants in the earth in those days. And this is in the area of the studies of Genesis 6. And then, of course, we've got the physical evidence to back that up. That there was, if you look at a particular book called the Smithsonian Cover-Up, it goes through the facts, the recorded facts of giant skeletons. For example, they've got we've got some military connections with Elia Marzulli, who interviewed a soldier where him and his men were responsible for killing a giant about 12 feet tall, muscular, with a big huge spear. It killed one of the soldiers, and they said that they struggled to try and kill this giant. They shot many rounds at it, and eventually they realized that they needed to shoot it in the head before they could actually kill it, because no matter how many rounds that they shot at this giant, it was still moving. It was hard to kill it, and so eventually they had to shoot it in the head, and they killed it. And then, of course, when the helicopter comes to whisk it away, they're all told to never tell anybody about their experience. The military, the high level military, tell the soldiers to not talk about this giant. And the reason why one of the reasons why they don't want the public to know about this is because, we do have evidence that the government has been covering up giant skeletons, destroying them. And I think that one of the reasons why is because it goes against Darwinism. It goes against the brainwashing of the science world, you see, right? That's one of the reasons why they don't want the public believing in the Bible, because they're trying to create an atheistic society, you see, a type of communist type of society. Then later on, today I went for this walk, to find some giant megalithic stones. I'm quite convinced that the megalithic stones may have had something to do with the giants of the ancient times. some thickness of fog. So back there, I would say that those are probably, I would say that there will be standing stones that were dislodged in some way, and you know. But so I mean, there's no rock faces nearby, so it's like as if they've maybe been shaped in ancient times and brought there. They were maybe standing at one point, but were dislodged, which means that there won't be any energies coming off them anymore. That's only if that's what had happened, that is, you know. I don't know if they were standing at one point, that's the only thing, you know. But because those giant stones are there, it's like I don't know what they're doing there, because it's just out in a field like that. Yeah, so being brought there for some reason, from somewhere, don't know where. But yeah, that's just an example that there's huge stones that are weigh tons. I don't know how heavy those ones will be. But down at Stonehenge, there you've got ones that are 25 tons and moved about 25 kilometers in the distance, you know. So it would have had to have been giants that were doing that. It doesn't make sense for it to be people. If you look at the Pictish symbol stones, you'll notice that the warrior Picts were using stones that were easy to work with. You know, they're not using stones that are humongous, like you know, like megaton kind of blocks. You know, so you know, like megaliths. You know, they're just kind of like almost the same size of stones that you would get in on like gravestones, you know. But in ancient times there must have been giants. I mean, seemingly Britain was connected to giants at the time of when it was called Albion, like almost like a land of giants, you know. But there was also the Irish giant, you know, 6-fingered one, I think it was, very tall. So there's an example there. They did exist at one point. And then of course you got in America the Smithsonian cover-up 18-foot skeleton with a 9-foot sword. Imagine trying to wield a sword that's 9 feet tall. Must weigh quite a bit, you know. And a huge helmet as well. Huge feet. It's absolutely crazy, yeah. Anyway.